A very good morning to you out there. This is Daybreak Africa, 13th of September 2019. Welcome to the platform where we set the tone, we set the tone, we set the pace, we set the everything that gives you the running starter, the right starter for obviously what always turns out to be a lovely day. Wow, as you can see, I am standing alone right now. Well, never worry, not to worry. I wouldn't be alone throughout the show because some of the other segment presenters will be coming along, but your darling Lucy Ora wouldn't be joining us on set. You will be seeing her again on Monday. For some reasons I will not be letting out to you, she is unavoidably absent on set today. But that's not going to in any way remove the juice that we have loaded all for your consumption this Friday morning. It is a weekend starter, and as usual, we'll have loads of packages lined up to make the start of your weekend a lovely one. But I hope you remember you still have to go to work today. The day has to end before your weekend has to start. Now, some days after what was termed Judgment Day, 9/11. The world remembers 9/11 for something, some security threat that happened that shocked the world. But in Nigeria, that day is getting a kind of significance because on that day, we all know what happened. The judiciary had the longest sitting ever, and then some judgment was tagged landmark judgments. Well, the bottom line of it is President Muhammadu Buhari was duly elected, and he remains the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, congratulations are still pouring in, and well, some patting on the back for the opposition, who are at this point not giving up. They say it's not over until it is finally over. I heard they are heading, or they're already headed to the Supreme Court. Well, time will tell. But meanwhile, the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Adams Oshomole, on Thursday, mocked the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2019 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, saying his party is waiting to inflict another defeat at the Supreme Court, that if they should go to the Supreme Court. Well, Oshomole stated this while fielding questions from State House correspondents on Thursday, adding that his APC is ready for the next round of legal battle with the PDP and its presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Now, what do you think about that judgment that was delivered? Five-man panel, all in entirety agreeing and throwing out in every, I wouldn't know. Well, like I did say, he said Buhari remains the president duly elected, but there are some issues that was raised from that judgment, and a lot of people had so much to say about it. But apparently, most of the judicial members, some senior lawyers and all of that, hailed the ruling of the tribunal. Okay. What do you think? You can always share your thoughts with us like we always say. Please do share. Well, what you think, what you say counts. Now, the Minister for Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who spoke from far away St. Petersburg, Russia, has also asked the opposition party, the PDP, and its presidential candidate in the 2019 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, to apologize to Nigerians for willfully distracting the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari with a frivolous elections petition. They say it's frivolous. Obviously, going by what the tribunal did come up with. And I'm wondering, PDP, didn't you do your homework? I didn't say so. Well, in response to that, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has asked the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, to delay celebrating the judgment of the Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal as it may be short-lived, and further asked him if his degree was awarded to him after presenting affidavit and class picture. Now, a lot of people have been saying something about affidavits. You know, in the ruling, something to do about affidavit. I don't know. If you didn't follow, perhaps you might have to go to our website, follow us, because we have every single detail of what went down at the tribunal. There are some rulings about the qualification of the president, and the tribunal made some decisions there about certification. Not necessarily, I don't know, go and read and find out what exactly he said, but the PDP is actually asking Lai Mohammed, did you have to do an affidavit? Okay. You out there, did you do an affidavit before you got that job, before you go wherever you are? Maybe you might get an answer there. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari has said that he has decided to hand over the nation's treasury to a woman so as to ensure effective management of limited resources available and promote a stronger sense of inclusiveness. You know why the president had to say that? Yes, Zainab Ahmed, the finance minister, and I think from 2019 thereabout, 2000 and when we started democracy, as 1999 till date, it has always been women. We had Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, we had Kemi Adoshun, and now, okay. Perhaps Nigerians have really recognized the strength of the women. I think I can see some women in the studio here giving some high five. Okay. So let me not hear about women being marginalized anymore, because they have been given the strongest portfolio. Because if you ask me, finance is, that's where the juice is actually. That's where the juice is. And wow, kudos to women, because the presidency has really recognized your strengths. You are very good administrators, you are very good managers, especially when it comes to finance. Of course, going from the home. My mom, she was a very good financial manager. My wife also, she manages very well. And you out there, you are a woman, please make sure you manage your finances well, so that perhaps in the nearest future, you might be the next Okonjo-Iweala, Zainab, Kemi Adeosun. Now, moving on, the Northern States Governors Forum, comprising the governors of the 19th Northern States, on Thursday adopted the National Livestock Transformation Plan of the federal government. The governors also called on their colleagues in other parts of the country to follow suit during their emergency meeting which they held at the Kashim Ibrahim Government House in Kaduna. Well, so much about Ruga and all the hula baloo about Ruga and all of that. The National Livestock Plan of the federal government might be it, but is it exactly different from the Ruga settlement issue that was actually in the front burner for a while? Well, you need have to find out what are the details of that livestock transformation agenda. But then I am very sure it has a lot in stock for headers, and especially for the livestock, because they might not have to travel all over the country on foot and then look all lean and emaciated. Also, good news for us, because our meat is going to be fatter and all of that. That is, if this plan is implemented to the fullest. All right. Now, to some employment issues, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, that's NECA, they have warned against the implementation of the 7.2% value added tax approved by the Federal Executive Council, saying that it will make nonsense of the new minimum wage signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. The employers group gave the warning in a statement also on Thursday, cautioning the federal government, please don't do this, because the timing, according to them, of the announced increase of the VAT from 5% to 7.2% might just not be right. Why did they have to increase? I mean, 5%, isn't it good enough? Government, please listen. Well, I also do believe you have good reasons for what you are trying to do, but employers are saying it is not going to really go down well. Please, we'll have to listen to the voice of reason. Well, no, yes, we have a listening government, and they definitely have to do the needful, especially when the people they are trying to lead says nay. All right. A report from the International Committee of the Red Cross on Thursday indicates that no fewer than 22,000 Nigerians have been reported missing following Boko Haram-related attacks, with nearly 60% of them being minors at the time they went missing. Well, you know the names. Our girls, bring back our girls, a whole lot of young people, young girls, youngsters, young boys, missing at different points in time. Now, the report, according to the Red Cross, is the highest number of missing persons it has registered. 22,000, that's a whole lot. Well, security agencies have promised they are on top of their games. Please, we don't want a repeat of Boko Haram taking any of our people, be it young or old. Well, the security apparatus, they are on top of the game. They are doing what is the needful. They are doing it well. So Nigerians, all we need to do right now is to give them our support, valuable information whenever it's time. Please, if you see something, say something. If you know something, report to the appropriate authority that will help curb this rising state of banditry, criminality that leads to a lot of our youngsters, a lot of our people missing. All right, so sports now. Just a little bit of sports. Salisu Yusuf, remember him? He has been reinstated as the coaching crew. He has been reinstated to the coaching crew of the Super Eagles after completing the one-year ban placed on him in September last year. And the Nigerian Football Federation on Thursday confirmed Salisu's return to the Super Eagles coaching crew, where he served as the assistant coach of the national football team before he was slammed with suspension on September the 5th, following his alleged involvement in a bribery incident. Now, in case you've forgotten, he was videoed receiving money from journalists who were obviously investigative journalists who were on undercover, is it sting operation? Yeah, they posed as football agents and were giving him money so that he can include some players in the national team. Well, he got nabbed, and the committees of the disciplinary committee and fairness and all of that, they sat and they found him guilty and slammed him in 1-year ban. Now he has served out his term and he has been reinstated. Well, a lot of people have divergent views on, okay, why should he be reinstated after all? Okay, what do you think? Please tell us your thoughts on this and a lot of issues, a lot of things going on in the polity happening wherever. Of course, you are our eyes, you are our ears. If you hear it, please let us know, and we will share with the rest of Africa, the rest of the world. That's much about bits of what is happening right now. We'll be going to the news desk so that Priscilla Ewurum will tell us some more about things happening in Nigeria and elsewhere in the world. Stay tuned. Daybreak Africa. A slice of the north-central Nigeria with its raw mix of cultures, treasures, and amazing people. Based in the vibrant glory of the beauty of nature with striking landscapes. And that's the best from agriculture, commerce and entrepreneurship. Put in a mix of local politics and governance from a resourceful people with amazing lifestyles, and you are right in the center of the northern Nigeria. North Central Journal, a compendium of people, places, news and views, all in an amazing mix that bears it all. Only on Television Nigerian.
This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very
Thanks for joining us. This is the AM News. I am Priscilla Eworm. The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party has challenged the Rivers State's governor, Nyesom Wike, or any other member with proof of corruption against members of a committee set up by the board to investigate issues surrounding the emergence of Godwin Ndudi Elumelu as minority leader of the House of Representatives. Elumelu had emerged minority leader against the choice of the leadership of the PDP, which favored another rep member, Kingsley Chinda. Governor Wike, who was also opposed to Elumelu's emergence, has accused the committee members of having succumbed to corrupt influences. Reacting to Wike's accusations, the chairman of the board, Senator Walid Jibril, said the mere submission of a report by the committee did not imply issuing a clean bill of health to Elumelu and other rep members who turned against the party's choice. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has wooed banks executives to assist the government in ensuring that all looted funds in the state were recovered and used for the overall development of the state. He also vowed to recover every bit of looted funds in the state, while such recovered loot should be kept in a special bank account for the use of the state. The governor made this revelation while playing host to the management of the Unity Bank PLC at Agodi Governor's office. According to him, the account will be made open to everybody to avoid the recovered money being looted again. An alleged kidnap kingpin, Bello Abdul, age 40, popularly called Yellow, has confessed to murdering over 10 persons and abducting more than 50 victims on the notorious Abuja-Kaduna highway. He spoke after he was arrested on Tuesday evening by operatives of the police intelligence response team. Yellow was arrested at his hideout in Niger State by detectives who have been on his trail following allegations of operating an armed robbery, cattle rustling and kidnapping syndicate that spanned across casinos in Farah, Kaduna and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. A source who hinted on the arrest told newsmen that 7 AK-47 rifles were recovered from Yellow, adding that the suspect had countless others yet to be retrieved. President Muhammadu Buhari says placing women in strategic positions of his government, like the financial sector, is to ensure effective management of limited resources and promote a stronger sense of inclusiveness. The president gave the insight into his preferred choice for ministers of finance when he received a delegation of national, zonal, state and federal capital territory women leaders of the All Progressives Congress. The delegation was led by the party women leader Hajia Salamatu Baiwa at the State House Abuja on Thursday. President Muhammadu Buhari added that he preferred women to oversee the economic and financial hub of the country, Ministry of Finance, as they could readily deploy their experience in aligning resources with the needs of the country. The Nigerian Air Force on Thursday said gun trucks belonging to Boko Haram terrorists have been destroyed through airstrikes, while the occupants were also neutralized. Its spokesman, Air Commodore Bikunle Daramola, said in a statement that the gun trucks were laden with weapons and heading towards the northern part of Borno State. Daramola said in a similar development, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has dealt with another Islamic State of West African province elements by completely destroying an ammunition-laden gun truck and immobilizing another one belonging to the group of Garunda in the northern part of Borno State. And that's all we have for you on the news. Up next is the business news, and of course, Chinwendu Sisiogo is on standby. Don't go away.
The Federal Executive Council on Wednesday approved 7.2% as new value-added tax rate for the country, up from the current 5%. However, a decision has yet to be taken on the effective date of the new rate. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, who spoke with State House correspondents after the FEC meeting in Abuja, said consultations were in process after when the new rates would apply. She explained that stakeholders, including the National Assembly and the states, would have to agree on the dates, stating that the Value Added Tax Act would have to be amended by the National Assembly before the commencement of the new rates, which she said could be sometime in 2020. Ahmed, who also spoke on the preparation for the 2020 budget, disclosed that the FEC approved the 2020-2022 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which will soon be presented to the National Assembly for approval. The national stock market witnessed a rebound on Wednesday as investors gained 51.5 billion naira on the back of price appreciation in May and Baker Nigerian PLC and 18 other stocks. At the end of trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Wednesday, the market capitalization of equities increased from 13.158 trillion naira to 13.209 trillion naira. The all-share index increased by 0.31% to settle at 27,153.53 basic points, which is the year-to-date loss to minus 13.6%. However, activity level weakened as volume and value traded fell by 41.9% and 70.2% to 211.522 million units and 1.449 billion naira respectively. The top traders stock by volume were Courtview Business Solution PLC 35.2 million units, Sterling Bank PLC 34.7 million units, and Asset Bank PLC 29.9 million units, while the top traded by volume were Asset Bank 208.4 million naira, Zenith Bank 206.8 million naira, and Seaplate Petroleum Development Company PLC 147.8 million naira. Investor sentiment as measured by market breadth remained unchanged at 1.5x from the previous trading section as 19 stocks outperformed 13 stocks that declined. The cost of diesel used for powering telecom towers is estimated at 8.8 billion naira. Analysis of industry figures has shown. Stakeholders in the telecom industry, while speaking at the Nigerian Telecom Conference in Lagos on Wednesday, said mobile network operators were buying an average of 40 million liters of diesel per month to power telecoms sites. With the average of cost of diesel in Nigeria at 220 naira per liter, this amounts to 8.8 billion naira every month. The Vice President Network Operation Airtel Nigeria, Dr. Adedoyin Adeola, noted power supply was being sabotaged by different people who were benefiting from alternative forms of energy. According to him, network operators in Nigeria and few other African countries are the only ones who introduced two power generating sets in their business case. He said due to the unreliable power supply from the grid, telecom operators had advised various means of ensuring consistent power supply to masts and towers across the country. But that's much we have for you today on TVN Business Updates. I'm Chiwende Osisiogo.
Trending hot topics to even hotter music videos, the best events, and the most interesting guests, of course.
It just pushed me.
So find all of that juiciness and more on Posh Spice, the show that brings you all of the most entertaining content from the entertaining world of entertainment.
That's lit, man!
So watch me bring sizzling hot content to you on Television Nigerian. You can watch us on our nice concert platforms, and if you are not a fan of television, watch us on our social media platforms and our web TV, of course.
Don't miss it. Seriously, don't miss it. My job, literally.
What a slice of the north-central Nigeria with its raw mix of cultures, treasures, and amazing people. Bask in the vibrant glory of the beauty of nature with striking landscapes. And that's the best from agriculture, commerce and entrepreneurship. Put in a mix of local politics and governance from a resourceful Many thanks for still staying tuned. It is still Daybreak Africa in case you just joining us. And up next, we'll be going to Africa, across Africa, to bring you up to speed with news of what is happening in some of our African countries. Do stay tuned.
Africa, oh, Africa, oh, my God, Africa, 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 Africa.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. I am Amino Adamo. At least 10 people have died and 98 were injured in a stampede at a campaign rally of Mozambique's President Filipe Nyusi. Health authorities said this on Thursday. Nampula Central Hospital Management said the deaths and injuries occurred when a crowd tried to move through a single gate of a stadium in the city of Nampula, northern Mozambique, where the rally was being held on Wednesday. People were trampled on as they attempted to leave the facility. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday, the hospital's director, Kachimo Molina, said 98 people were admitted for care at the health unit and all but 14 were later discharged, while 8 have been in intensive care. Mozambican Interior Minister Basilio Monteiro announced the creation of a commission of inquiry to investigate the cause of the incident. Mozambique is currently in its second week of election campaigning ahead of the October 15 general elections, when Nyusi of the ruling Frelimo party is hoping to secure a second term. President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Uganda counterpart Yoweri Museveni on Thursday witnessed the signing of an agreement aimed at promoting sustainable peace and development among Turkana, Pokot, and Karamojong communities. The program, dubbed Cross-Border Sustainable Peace and Development, seeks to end hostilities among the 3 neighboring communities and enhance development in the region by promoting non-violent interactions and collaborations. The United Nations support intervention that will be led by a ministerial committee co-chaired by Kenya and Uganda will be implemented in the region to reduce tensions resulting from access to shared resources such as water and pasture. Speaking during the launch ceremony in Moroto town, President Kenyatta welcomed the agreement, saying it will help spur development in the region, which has for many years suffered unnecessary communal conflicts. The president further said the Peace and Development Program will assist in transforming the border region from a conflict zone to an area of progress, development, and wealth. The president also noted that it is through wealth creation, as envisioned in the signed Peace and Development Agreement, that the poverty that plagued the region can be fought successfully, and called for free movement of people, goods and services across borders of African countries, saying the continent can't develop without free trade. Thousands of people have protested in Sudan to demand justice for pro-democracy demonstrators who were killed earlier this year. The crowd gathered outside the presidential palace in the capital, Khartoum, on Thursday, chanting slogans, waved flags, and also called for the appointment of new senior judiciary officials. Sudan has been in turmoil since longtime ruler Omar al-Bashir was ousted by the military in April. More than 100 demonstrators were killed in June, doctors say, when the security forces dispersed a sit-in outside the defense ministry. The unrest on Thursday was the first major protest since civilians and the military signed a power-sharing deal last month. The landmark agreement ushered in a new governing council which includes both civilians and generals and will pave the way towards eventual elections and civilian rule. An Ethiopian army official says members of the Islamic State extremist group have been detained in the East African country. Bahanu Jula, deputy chief of Ethiopia's military, told newsmen on Wednesday that there is evidence the extremist group has recruited, trained and armed some Ethiopians. He said other members of the group still at large are being hunted down and warned that the Islamic State group had tried many times in the past to set up base in Ethiopia. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has recently warned about attempts by the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab extremists to make inroads into Ethiopia. Ethiopia's army has a heavy presence in border areas with Somalia, where Al-Shabaab mounts regular bomb attacks. Namibia's flagship airline, Air Namibia, is now in a state of insolvency, a company official told newsmen on Wednesday. Consideration on the whether to keep the airline as a state-owned entity or offload it to a private investor is still being considered by the Namibia government, who are the sole owners of the financially troubled airline. He added that the airline's economic challenges are outweighed by its contribution to Namibia's tourism industry, a situation he said allowed it to continue leveraging on economic support from the country's treasury. The airline is structured in such a way that it is part of the value chain for tourism development for Namibia. Nakawa said Namibia's flagship airline, which flies routes in most southern African countries as well as Europe, is depending primarily on subsidies from the Namibian government at the moment. That's much we have on news across Africa on Daybreak Africa. Thank you for watching. Daybreak continues shortly.
Thanks for staying tuned. This is still Daybreak Africa. Now, health, they say, is wealth. And a healthy body and a sound mind is all that an individual takes, are all an individual needs for him to function optimally. But sometimes you do get some knocks on your head that you might be looking around at, who is knocking me? And actually, nobody is there hitting you, but you keep having these knocks on your head. And it has been defined as headache. Have you been having headaches? Do you have headache right now? Well, let's go to the healthy living segment where Lillian Ambi will be telling us so much about headache, what to do when you have headache to ensure that it doesn't affect the daily activities you have lined up for the day. Healthy living is up next.
It's another episode of Healthy Living. I am Lillian Ambi. Today I will be talking about headache. Headache can be a sign of stress or emotional distress, or it can result from a medical disorder such as migraine or high blood pressure, anxiety or depression. It can lead to other problems. People with chronic migraine headache, for example, may find it hard to attend work or school regularly. Headache can occur in any part of the head, on both sides of the head, or in just one location. We have the primary and the secondary type of headache. Primary headache are stand-alone illness caused directly by the overactivity of or a problem with structure in the head that are pain sensitive. Common primary headaches include migraine, cluster headache, and tension headache. Tension headache, which is brain freeze. Eating something very cold can lead to a brain freeze. Tension headache are the most common form of primary headache. Such headache normally begins slowly and generally graduates into middle of the day. Migraine is the second and most common form of primary headache and can have a significant impact on the life of an individual. According to the World Health Organization, migraine is the 6th highest cause of days lost due to disability worldwide. A migraine can last from a few hours to between 2 and 3 days. Cluster headache usually lasts between 15 minutes and 3 hours, and they occur suddenly once per day, up to 8 times per day for a period of weeks to months. In between clusters, there may be no headache symptoms, and this headache-free period can last months to years. The pain caused by cluster headaches is one-sided headache, often described as sharp or burning, typically located in or around the eye. Secondary headache. Secondary headache are symptoms that happen when another condition stimulates the pain-sensitive nerves to the head. In other words, the headache symptoms can be attributed to another cause. A wide range of different factors can cause secondary headache. These include alcohol-induced hangover, brain tumor, blood clots, bleeding in or around the brain, brain freeze, or ice cream headache, carbon monoxide, poisoning, dehydration, glaucoma, teeth grinding at night, overuse of pain medication known as rebound headache, panic attack, and stroke. Types of secondary headache are rebound headache. Rebound headache or medical overuse headaches stem from an excessive use of medication to treat headache symptoms. They are the most common cause of secondary headache. They usually begin early in the day and persist throughout the day. They may improve with pain medication but worsen when its effect wears off. Thunderclap. These are sudden severe headache that are often described as the worst headache of the life. They reach maximum intensity in a less than 1 minute and last longer than 5 minutes. People who exercise this sudden severe headache should seek medical evaluation immediately. As headache can be a symptom of serious condition, it is important to seek medical advice if it becomes more severe, regular, or persistent. Sometimes, headache may result from a deficiency of a particular nutrient or nutrients, especially magnesium and carbon B vitamins. Differences can be due to a poor quality of diet or other medications. Treatment. The most common ways of treating headaches are rest and pain relief medication. Several alternative forms of treatment for headache are available, but it is important to apply a heat ice pack on the head or on the neck to avoid extreme temperature. Avoid stressor where possible and develop healthy coping strategy for unavoidable stress. Eat regular meals because hunger can also cause headache. A hot shower can help, although in one rare condition, hot water exposure can trigger headache. Exercising regularly and getting enough rest and regular sleep contribute to overall health and stress reduction. Avoid watching of too much television and avoid too much eye contact to the screen. Thank you for watching today's episode. I still remain Lillian Ambi. Don't forget, when you have symptoms that persist more than 2 to 3 hours, consult a medical practitioner.
Thanks for staying tuned, and we do apologize. We're having some technical hitches, and the newsman, so unfortunately, will not be doing this newspaper with me this morning. But not to worry, the papers are in the house, and I'll be running through the newspaper headlines right now. We are starting with the Pilot newspaper, and the Pilot is going with the major headline: 22,000 Nigerians missing, with a rider out of 2 million displaced persons. Wow, the details you can get on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. And also, above the major headline and directly below the masthead, you have fuel price hike. Buhari says no plan to inflict more hardship on Nigerians. Does it mean there's not going to be a price hike? Who even said there will be a price hike in the first place? So get these details on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot. Besides that, you have federal government to give soft loans to South African returnees. The details on page 8. You have a picture story there of President Muhammadu Buhari smiling broadly with a lot of women. Wow, surrounded by women. Him, and I can see Shomole and some other dignitaries there. And of course, it was the event where the women, APC women, paid a costly visit to the president. You can see on the front page of the Nigerian Pilot, capturing it all, the happy moment when they had to pose for the cameras. Below that picture story, we'll have government asks residents to relocate as flood overruns Lokoja. The floods are at its ravaging best again. So please, residents of Lokoja and environments, you know the needful, do the needful. The details are on page 10. And we also have Northern governors adopt National Livestock Transformation Plan. The details on page 7. Federal Varsity Ekiti set up 12-man panel on First Lady's attack. Details on page 11. FG applauds air peace for evacuating Nigerians from South Africa. You can get the details on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot. Why I trust women with our treasury, says Buhari. Find out the reasons why Buhari trusts women to handle the national economy. The details you can get on page 5 of the Nigerian Pilot. Well, that's much of the stories we have on the front page of the Nigerian Pilot, but also there are so much they are talking about inside and the back side of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. So please do go and get yourself a copy and read so that you can tell it. Up next, we'll have People's Daily newspaper, loaded as well. They have the major headline: Buhari will have no plans to inflict hardship on Nigerians. And it goes with the rider as PDP rejects federal government's increase in VAT. Well, the details you can get on page 5 of the People's Daily newspaper. Below the masthead, you have federal government approves $5.3 billion Ibadan to Kano rail project. Well, that's good news for all of us because everybody travels. The rail projects, find out the details on page 5. You have the picture of the transport minister, that's Rotimi Amici there. So he has a lot to say. Go and find out on page 5 of the newspaper. And of course, NACON concludes 2019 Hajj return. Reportedly, all Nigerian pilgrims are supposed to be back right now in the country. Or are there still some left behind? But you have to find out more on page 6 of the People's Daily newspaper. Also, they are not missing out on the happy moments of the president with APC women. That's the picture story they also have there on their front page. And below that, you have INEC to publish particulars of Guba candidates in Kogi, Bayelsa today. It's heating up the electioneering, the campaigns and every other thing. We are going to know who actually Kogi and Bayelsa indigents will be voting for come their elections. So the details you will get on page 3 of the People's Daily newspaper. We'll meet Atiku, PDP at Supreme Court. Oshomole saying there. Find out on page 3 of the People's Daily newspaper. Women are better managers of resources, Buhari. Page 6 has the details. We need institutions that will produce cutting-edge A1 applicants or applications there. Ustibanjo is actually sounding that out on page 2. find out, please, you need to grab a copy of the People's Daily because they really have so much that they are printing this morning. Right up next is the blueprint, printed in blue, black, red, and green in some places. And they are going with the major headline, Headers, Farmers Crisis, Orders. Northern governors adopt livestock transformation plan. 22,000 missing in Northeast. That's the sad story there from the Red Cross. Get the details on page 6 of Blueprint newspaper. Oh, we'll have a picture story there, obviously some women, and on the other side, some men. You have 10 women and a baby released by the bandits to the Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Nasari in Katsina on Thursday. Wow, good news. They regained their freedom. And you also have 8 bandits released security operatives to Governor Aminu Bello Nasari in his office in Katsina on Thursday. Wow. Good news to security operatives, releasing captives and then arresting bandits. Okay. Tribunal verdict, PDP Atiku should apologize to Nigeria. That's the FG saying there. The details you can get on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And also we have Kogi Bayelsa polls, 91 males, 10 females running INEC. Well, you have a little bit of the details of the list that they are releasing today. 91 males and only just 10 females. Women, what is happening? But find out the details on page 6 on Blueprint. Maternal mortality, 40,000 die annually in Nigeria. That's the Minister for Health saying there. You can get the details on page 8. And NLC PDP kick against VAT hike. Page 32 has the details. And besides, on the top, besides the masthead, you have Nigeria's foreign trade up by 4.4% in second quarter. That's from the Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics. The details you can get on page 34. And NIMC, that's the Identity Management, issues 36.6 million national identity numbers to Nigerians. Have you gotten your identity number? Are you awaiting yours? You might have to go and read page 20 to find out maybe your name is part of the list that's been released. That's the much we take for the Blueprint newspaper. Now we're going up to the next paper for review here, and that's the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard is printing with a bold headline, Xenophobia, returnees tell tales of woes. Well, the story is on page 5, and you have so much riders. We came back with nothing. Pregnant woman laments. That's on a pregnant returnee. Pretoria, many other places in South Africa unsafe. I wept as returnee sang national anthem, says Air Peace chairman. FG doles out 40,000 naira airtime, 9 gig data to returnees. Are they going to rehabilitate 10? Well, lawyers, CSO blast South African government for harassing, detaining returnees. So much sad stories from South Africa. But you have to get to the page 5 of Vanguard to get these details as they were. Northern governors adopt national livestock plan. The details on page 13. Boko Haram, 22,000 Nigerians missing in Northeast, says Red Cross. The details are on page 8. Real reason Jonathan pardoned alarms. Alarms, that should be alarmistic. Okay, find out. Adoke is saying there on page 9. And you, above the masthead, you've no powers to take over Edo Assembly. Court tells National Assembly. Well, the lingering crisis in Edo State, get the details on page 12. I've no intention to inflict more hardship on Nigerians. Buhari restating it there. I think all the newspapers around sounding this. And you can get the details of the Vanguard perspective on page 11. Imports rise by 67% in H1 2019. Balance of trade declines. The details you can get on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Up next, we have another newspaper in the house, that is The Nation. The Nation newspaper is going with the major headline here, Federal government, Atiku gave false evidence at tribunal. It goes with the rider. Ex-VP should be prosecuted. PDP will upturn verdict. Well, maybe PDP saying there. Why I hailed ruling by Wike. Well, Wike hailing the rulings. You can get the details of all of this on page, I think it's on page 8. Yes, the page 8 of the Nation's newspaper has the details of the news. And also you have a picture story there. Very, very happy Buhari surrounded with equally happy women. Brought smiles all over the place. That was what happened yesterday when the women paid him a courtesy visit in the State House. All right, and above that you have Northern governors dump Ruga for livestock plan. Did they really dump the Ruga? What's the difference between the livestock plan and the Ruga? Or is the Ruga also part of the livestock plan? Find out details of that on page 46 of the Nation's newspaper. Controversy over 7.2% VAT rate. Whoa, still continues. You get the story on page 46 of the Nation's newspaper. Above the masthead, INEC to publish names of Kogi candidates. Page 45 has the details. Government eyes 140,000 jobs from NLNG. Train 7. The details on page 41. And also, Nigeria is 146 on ease of doing business. Get the details on page 41. Troops kill 3 terrorists in Borno. Details on page 45. IDPs protest insecurity in Niger. We'll get details there on page 45. And of course, Kaduri, Asar, Rekendo rivalry. What are they rivaling about? A bit of tennis there. You can get the details on page 47 of the Nation's newspaper. And like we always say on this show, a newspaper a day drives away ignorance. You have to read and read. Read to know, read to tell. And of course, when you're reading, please do also read between the lines. Say it as it is printed and ensure you don't in any way participate in the spread of fake news. Thanks so much for staying tuned. That's the much you have on the newspaper review. Now, moving on. Rivers, like we all know, is a source of life. Yes, because water is very, very essential for life. It supports the life of sea animals like the fishes, the sea anemones, and all of that. And of course, it helps breed food for human beings because we eat fish, we eat some of the seaweeds, and a lot of things that comes from rivers. But this particular river in the Federal Capital Territory, in addition to giving lives, being a home for fish and some other aquatic animals, also takes human lives. Wow. Did I hear you say what? Don't hold your breath. Up next we have on our community report, our correspondent Zuera Hamza took a trip to this community in the Federal Capital Territory where this mysterious river takes human lives. How does it do it? Let's find out. Just stay tuned.
Everyone talks about the beautiful aspect of nature and want to experience it. But when a mysterious water shows up and starts claiming life, people become worrisome. We're currently at Pape, a suburban area in Abuja, where a mysterious water has been threatening the life of people. Pape is a satellite town situated in the northeast geographical coordinate of Abuja. The town is known to be peaceful and populated with Bagi, the original indigene who first moved to the location, while the town is currently populated with various tribes from all over Nigeria, who have been coexisting peacefully with one another. Alongside the growing population of Pape over the years comes a lot of infrastructural challenges and a lot of vice and criminal activities which have given the town a reputation among the other inhabitants of the Federal Capital Territory, while the absence of physical planning has reduced the outlook of the town to that of a shanty sub.
We are having difficulties of those these violent people, thieves and the rest. They used to collect people's phone in the night. Somebody will just slap somebody and collect his phone. Maybe the person is going to work. They will just snatch his phone from his hand.
Apart from that, what else? Light,
Mm.
security, road.
Road. We don't have road. The building here is not fine. All is somehow building, no road, nothing. Everywhere so tattered, dirty.
Things that used to happen like crime, attack, they used to attack people in the night, especially all those night people, cultists, stealing, break houses.
Stealing, there are cultists around here.
Yeah, there are some cultists around. And they used to break people's houses.
For how long have these people been here?
More than 10 years.
In the midst of the rocky topography, crowded outlook, and the overpopulation which characterizes the hilltop, lies this mysterious lake which legend have it claims human life periodically and which has remained an oversolved puzzle and a point of caution for residents of the town.
It has been there and it has been drowning some people, drown them. When they go there to bath, it will just drown them like that.
Na daɗe da sanin ruwan nan sama da shekara 10 a zuwa na dai gurin nan. A kuma tarihi ruwan nan yana cin mutum a duk shekara. Maybe 1, 2 zuwa abin da ya sauwaka daidai yana ci domin Allah.
According to local source, the water has been there for over 10 years and it all started as a result of rock blasting activities by construction companies in the area, with the volume of water rising with the increase of rock blasting exercise. Some people, especially motorcycle riders who usually go to wash their bikes and take their bath in groups at the water, has over time been reportedly to have mysteriously disappeared, with their lifeless body discovered several after, making the site, which initially held a form of tourist attraction, a deserted area by residents.
Wannan ruwan ni ma kaina gab kuke kotar da ni ma na ba gurin saboda ni ma kaina tsoron ruwan nan nake. Yasa nake zuwa in yi wanka, in yi wanki na sannan kuma in fice. Da na ga ba kowa ma wankan da wankin na hwasa daga zan.
Kana jin tsoro?
Ina jin tsoro sosai. A duk shekara yana cin mutum. Ni ma ai mutum ne.
And even 2 years ago, it swallowed a very person that I know.
How are you sure that it is actually the water that is swallowing them, or people are not just...
Because people do bath there. They used to bath there. So, in process of swimming, before you know, the water will drag them by force and kill them. Till the next day, the water will now bring the person come up. The water is very deep. It can swallow more than 3 poles long, especially the center of the water.
And you still go there to bathe and sleep?
But I have stopped.
Why did you stop?
Because the place is dangerous.
This water, since when the company has living work here, if any person come to buy, eventually go inside, there's something where they eat person inside every year.
So how did this water just, is it rain that bring the water?
No, it's coming out from ground. Since when the company make hole, it's from the ground, the water is coming out.
Indeed, this is a beautiful tourist site. So many musical videos, movies have been shot here. But due to lack of development, this place is wasting away. And also the mysterious water that claims life. Who wants to come here? The federal government needs to look into this. I'm Zuwaira Hamza, TVN News.
Well, amazing story of that mysterious lake there. Thank you so much for Zuera Hansa for looking out unusual places and bringing it up for people to know. Now, if you're staying around that area, Happy, please do very much to stay very far away from that lake so that you don't disappear mysteriously. We don't need your lifeless body appearing the next day. Thank you so much. Moving on right now. It is a weekend and we'll have a little bit of a comedy, a comic relief with the question, if your mother cooks and if your wife cooks, which one will you go for first? But I think married couples have a lot to say about that. But let's get to the streets of Abuja to find out what they really think on the street creed with David Gold.
Bros, if your wife cook food, keep for your front. Your mother too can't cook food, cook for your front. Which person want your first chop?
Nah, now my wife, oh no.
Why?
Eh?
Why?
In fact, I believe say, now my wife, before we marry, that love, those sweet us tire. Because mom see don't cook, I don't enjoy my mom see food tire. Now make I enjoy the latest one now. Yeah? Make I enjoy the latest soup when my mama sweetheart don't cook for me now. For sure. Actually, I will eat my mother.
Why?
Because it's the one that gave back to me. It's my first wife.
Yes.
My wife is the second wife, you know. My mother is my first wife. No matter how it is.
My wife now.
Why?
Because she's my wife, and as I never marry her, and my mother own be the chop before now. So when I come marry her now, make her chop her own. Because I don't chop mama own, even from the breast. Since.
You know, say, now the food where they use to train me. Now that one I go first eat too, which is my mother own.
But you and your wife now one now.
Now one, now I know now one. But ordering this food is for with this would not be the same thing.
And my wife on her first shop.
Why you first chop your wife?
Why? Because she's my wife.
But your mom seen her first your mother.
I know, yes. That one day, Sha. But my wife is my wife. While my mom is my mom. I will first eat my wife's food before I eat my mom's own.
Oh my God, the question is so complicating. But the truth of the matter is if she's a girlfriend, if she's a wife, I will eat my wife's food. My mother will understand with me. Yes, as a male child to her, she will understand better.
body bang, your body bang, your body bang, your 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 bang, your body bang. And I give us when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, come on girl when you take a selfie. When you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend it low.
Want to shoot a dope music video at 50% discount?
50% discount?
Yeah, 50% discount. Bougie Down to Television Nigerian with world-class equipment and a badass expert crew.
Oga, face your camera now. Shh. Continue.
Where was I? Everything extra.
Carolina, you bada.
Hurry up.
I know say you know this thing you did do, my girl, say you know. Your body is big and I know say you know.
It's good to know that you are still staying tuned, and if you have just joined us, this is Daybreak Africa. Well, you heard that question on the street, going out a poster there for married man. If your wife and your mother cooks, whose will you eat first? Well, don't ask me whose I will eat first. Bring the food first, let's see. All right, moving on now. Fashion has always had a special place in the hearts of women over years, and makeup is an essential part of fashion. But now, do you know that makeup actually has an origin? Well, this might shock you. How the makeup originated for the ladies, for the women, and also for the guys who wear makeup. Let's go to the fashion book and learn some more.
Welcome to your fun-filled episode on Fashion Book. I am Uchechi Lemoa. Today we are going to be talking about makeup. Wow. A lot of women and a few men apply makeup on a daily basis. What is actually the reason why people apply makeup? Is it because they want to look good or hide some flaws in the natural appearance of facial feature? You may call it nonsense if you must, but spending quality time in front of a mirror is a daily ritual millions of women can't do without, whether they are preparing for an average day at work, a big event, or a date with that special someone. It all goes back to the ancient Egyptians who were the first women to wear makeup. In a way, the basic motive back then was the same as it is today. Just like modern day supermodels, the well-to-do women of ancient Egypt wanted to look their best and saw the careful application of facial paint as a means to that end. But unlike today's modern women, they weren't trying to impress that cute guy at work or the guy at the important job interview. And the Egyptian women weren't trying to catch the eye of the bowling construction for men working on the pyramids or the local pharaoh either. The size were aimed at little higher. They were trying to impress the gods. That's amazing, of course. Evidence shows that the Egyptian ladies were dolling themselves up as early as 4000 BC. This was mainly, or at least in good part, to please the gods, as the women felt their appearance was directly related to their spiritual worth. So the Egyptian created the first cosmetics. As the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, the sight of a beautiful woman or girl turns heads, captures attention, and causes a great effect.
For me, I think, for me particularly, I love makeup because that is my work. Like, Although a lot of people don't like makeup because they think that some girls do makeup just because they want to draw their attention. Some men think about that. But for me, I think I like makeup because that is my work and it's just that I'm good at that. Just it.
Okay. Whatever you can put on your body to make you look good as a girl or as a woman, go ahead and use it. If it looks good on you, fine, go ahead and kiss my wife with makeup on her lips.
No, I think they appreciate the girls when they post it all over the place. They say they like the comments. I don't know, I'm not a makeup person and I really don't wear makeup at all except when it's really necessary.
Okay, so why are you wearing makeup? Why do you wear makeup? Why do you like people that wear makeup? Question is up to you. But next we have entertainment segments where we'll bring you the juicy details of what your favorite celebrities are doing, what they are up to, what they are planning to do, what they've done, what they've not done. And of course, we always have the person who knows it all and brings all always Priscilla Ajeshola. She's in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank God it's Friday again.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. But let me start with, why are you wearing makeup?
Well, it makes you look good, and then apart from that, it builds your confidence and everything. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, your face is not looking exactly in its best shape. So sometimes wearing makeup just places it where you want it to be.
Okay, so you're not wearing it to attract some guy?
Nah.
All right. So what do we have on the menu today?
Okay, so let's get right into our entertainment news. So our first story is about Davido. Last week we heard a lot about the whole thing with his introduction to Chioma, and then right now on social media it's going crazy because he has proposed to her, and then he showed off her huge engagement ring on social media, and then they have finally agreed to being pregnant and they're expecting a boy, and that is super cute and we're very, very happy for them. So yes, Davido and Chioma lately they have been doing their thing, and now it's hashtag assurance 2020 and everything, and then we're really, really happy because Davido had he had the reputation of having baby mamas everywhere, but the fact that she's pregnant for him and he's actually working towards marrying her, I really respect that.
Okay, so let's not hope it's because of the baby thing that they are deciding to do the needful. Well, they've been together for a while.
Yes.
So was he actually waiting for the baby to show up before dragging him to marry?
We'll never know, because these celebrities do what they want, and all we can do is gossip about them.
Like we're doing right now.
Now moving on now to our next story. So media personality Moet Abebe has caused a stir on social media, that she posted a picture of herself nude, covered in only body paint. And a lot of people are talking, people are sharing the picture, and it is going viral. So like this particular person, before now, she's not really one to be completely covered up, but she has never done something like this, and everybody's like, what the hell? The pictures look really nice actually, but the idea of I feel like nowadays celebrities just want to break the internet. She's popular, she's a popular presenter, but not like that popular, and right now everybody's talking about her, and that's another thing entirely.
If you ask me, the pictures, I don't know, they don't fill in the gap.
Of course they don't, but they're nice pictures. It's just that
what nice, like did you say
further.
Nice pictures?
No, I think concept of the picture.
Okay.
If you're looking at it from an artistic point of view,
okay, it was on point artistically, but
as
every other thing about it.
No, I don't agree about any of that thing.
Okay.
Now moving on, so Nigerian musician Blackface is in the news. Apparently he was talking about how female musicians do not have good lyrics. He pointed out Tiwa Savage in particular, and he also was in an interview, he could hardly even remember the ages of his children, from saying one was 17 to changing it to 15 to saying one was either 11 or 12. This is actually very interesting. Blackface, I don't know what to do with this guy. Lately he has been doing, like, he keeps coming back with this and that. There's one time he did a diss track for Two-Face. There's one time he's doing a lawsuit. Like, I don't know, I feel like this guy just wants attention.
Exactly.
And that's
you just nailed it. He's looking for attention. I mean, it's actually, I feel for him though. you started up with somebody and all of a sudden you are left behind just like that, and the person is all over the place, is in the media, is breaking bounds internationally, and nobody remembers good old you.
Yes.
So they have to do something to like, I'm here, you guys have to pay me some attention.
You know, and then the thing is, he's not even a mediocre person. Like, he's down there, like he's down there, you know, he's not even in the middle, because FaZe is not really in the limelight, but he still has some, you know, kind of, but Blackface just went away completely, and he's still trying.
He's trying to come back.
He's trying to come
Let's hope he releases some dope song.
Dope? I think dope is a stretch.
No, but are you really you never can tell. It's never over until it's over. You can hit one big studio right now and do some tracks, and then it blows up all over the place. It's never too late to start.
Okay.
Yeah, the
well, I
limelight
feel like the only person that handles that well, apart from Two-Face, is Duncan Mighty. You know, he's the only person that can go away for a while and then come back
with a bang.
But I've not seen any of your veterans like you claim doing any of that. So let me just move on before I shade somebody. Now moving on. So now to all things Vivi Nigeria. So in the news right now, there's a video that has gone viral. Apparently, the housemates were talking about popular housemate Tacha having body odor, and all of them had their own perspectives. Mike in particular told Kathy to tell her friend to wear roll-on. Meanwhile, Mercy said the reason why she has a very, very strong scent is because she bleached. So different perspectives, the housemates, and then it's going viral because, you know, this particular thing, other housemates, Kimopra in particular, when she was evicted, she talked about this, and then people lashed out at her saying she's not supporting other women, you know, all of these things, and then now this is back again.
And now coming from a guy.
Everybody in the house, like, now it's not like they were even gossiping about it, because Mike literally even talked to Tacha about it, and then he was saying, Kathy, tell her, you know, we're in a house, you know, we just, like, you know, I kind of feel bad because Tacha has, like, she's supposed to be, you know, this is just, you know, of all things.
Of all things.
Yes.
Do you see it in a way affecting her ratings?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I feel like Nigerians were all for controversy. So this particular thing might not actually change the way people see her. People might forget it in like 2 or 3 days. So yeah.
Also, do you think it is a calculated move by the other housemates to bring down her rep? Because it's like everybody's Tacha.
Yeah.
Then look for something to drag her down.
Well, I feel like the thing is, when 1 or 2 people say something, it can be planned. But I feel like when everybody's saying the same thing, then you have to, you know, check it. And
Yeah, but you know that a lot of times, many of those housemates, those that left, if you ask them who would you like to leave or who you not miss in the house, you always hear Tasha. So, they might see her as a very strong contender, and then they are trying to look for somewhere to.
Well, there's that perspective, but honestly, I just feel like I don't just like the whole idea of her being the person that has this particular problem.
No, but I think also it's good though, so that she can, I mean, be better. They're just trying to make her a better person. Why not? If you have baby odor, body odors, let her deal with it. I mean, put on some roll-ons, put on some perfumes, and then considering the fact that she loves flaunting her body all over the house, all over the stuff, maybe.
Well, Tacha, just do something about it. I don't like the fact people are talking about you in this light.
Negative.
It is not cool at all. Now, moving on. So now to our last story, which is our international story. So Caitlyn Jenner was on a show, and then they were doing a bit of a roast. And then when people were roasting her about the fact that she's now transgender and the fact that she cut off her testicles, she said that it actually produced the world's youngest billionaire and like the world's highest paid model. So she is very, very happy.
Wait, did you say she?
Yeah, she's a she now.
Really?
Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn.
Okay, she was Bruce.
Yeah.
Now Caitlyn is the female version of the Bruce.
Yeah, and then I actually thought she was. I had no idea that she actually had surgery to remove like her testicles, and then now we're finding out. It's actually very, very interesting. But according to her, she said she retired it because like she already has like very, very exceptional children. Like, what does she need it for?
No, I mean, do the family relate? Do they still? Is it like how do they see her right now, dad or?
Well, they still call her dad. Well, that's about it for entertainment news. We'll draw the curtain at this juncture.
Thank you so much for bringing us some very interesting stories on Daybreak Africa. Africa, what do you think about all these things that celebrities, what they do every time? I mean, transgender. Okay. Thank you so much, Priscilla Adeshola, for bringing it on Daybreak Africa. And of course, this is where we come to an end for a wonderful, let's say, a wonderful week on Daybreak Africa. It's been fun. It's been amazing. It is the weekend, so do go out there and have yourself some fun. Do something quite fun, and please do involve that person, that brother or that sister who might not really be able to do that. You know, if you are in a position to help, please do offer help. Don't be selfish with your fun this weekend. Plan also on some form of charity. You can share. You can give out a lot of things you have. Make it the ones that are really still useful to you. Just give it out for the sake of sacrificing for someone else to be happy. And while you are having fun, we also want to beg you, please apply moderation in everything you do. Please, if you have to drive, don't drink. And if you drink, please don't drive. Do everything you have to do to remain healthy, to remain safe. And if you do all of that, we'll definitely see you again on Monday when Daybreak Africa returns. This same station. Also, please always like our page, follow us, text us, message us, because it is you that keeps us here, and it's because of you that we are on. Thanks very much for staying tuned. I am Charles Ibe, and we will see you again on Monday. Have a lovely weekend.